So for those of you that have been following me for a long time now, you'll know that I'm a Miami Dolphins fan. And right before we get into what we're here to talk about, if you're wondering where my Miami Dolphins content has gone, I've actually started a Miami Dolphins fan YouTube channel over with the Syndicate brand, Miami Dolphins Syndicate. So if you're a Miami Dolphins fan watching this, or you just want to support me, please click the link down in the bio and check out that channel there. Please give it a subscribe, as I'm going to be reviewing the Dolphins perspective of the Miami Dolphins 49ers game over there, as well as Donovan going live tomorrow with a live stream doing a film breakdown of that game. But here I am to talk about the San Francisco 49ers. As a Dolphins fan, I had the luxury to watch that game yesterday. Wasn't really luxurious, wasn't really fun. 49ers win 33-17. Jimmy G goes down in the first quarter, and I had some hope at that point. You hate to see a guy go down like that. It was just a freak play where his foot's caught underneath him on the tackle. But he goes down, and Brock Purdy steps in and did pretty much exactly what Jimmy G is asked to do. He got the ball to the playmakers. He got the ball to CMC, to Ayuk, to Debo, to Kittle. He just sat back there behind arguably the best offensive line in football and distributed the ball. 25, 37, 210, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. But you could make an argument that interception would have been better than an incompletion, because on 4th down, Xavier Howard intercepts it. Instead of the Dolphins getting the ball at the 40-yard line, Dolphins are going to get the ball deeper in their own territory and eventually punt it on that possession. The Dolphins had no answer for what the 49ers were throwing at them at both sides of the ball. The offense of the 49ers, CMC, the most well-rounded player in the entire NFL, his first game with the 49ers, had a passing touchdown, a receiving touchdown, and even tossed for a touchdown. Was their leading rusher, 66 yards. Was their leading receiver, 8 catches, 80 yards, and a touchdown. He can do it all. Debo Samuel hasn't had the numbers quite like last year, but most of that's due to the fact that they've actually got a running back now. They had Eli Mitchell. He goes down. They had Jeff Wilson. He played all right. CMC comes in. They've had a consistent running game, so he hasn't had to take a lot of carries. He had four carries yesterday for 5 yards. Didn't have the same production this year. However, he still played very well. 6 catches, 58 yards. Brandon Ayuk, 5 catches for 46 yards. 2 catches, 22 yards from George Kittle. He gets lost in this offense because of how much talent they have. They can beat you with just about anybody. I'll say time and time again about this 49ers team. As a defense, you walk out there. You're like, okay, I got Debo. Okay, cool. I got Brandon Ayuk. Okay, who has George Kittle? Okay, I got him. Okay, who has Christian McCaffrey? And you just shrug your shoulders, because eventually you run out of guys to defend their guys. They have talent everywhere on that team. And then they have one of the best offensive lines of football, where Brock Purdy, or maybe Baker Mayfield, we'll see what happens with that. But as of now, Brock Purdy can just sit back there, have all the time in the world, even with the Dolphins blitzing majority of the time where Brock Purdy was in the game yesterday. He can sit back there and comfortably get it to his wide open wide receivers, running back turn wide receiver, or tight end. They have the guys to go against your guys at almost any team in the NFL. The only defense that could really compete with their offense is their defense. You look at the other side of the ball. They have playmakers on every level of the defense. Defensive line, Nick Bosa, 3 sacks yesterday. Was breathing down to his neck the entirety of the game. Eric Armstead comes back, doesn't record a single tackle, but you know the impact he's going to have as the season comes on. The linebacking core, the best linebacking core in all of football. Al-Shaair, Frank Warner, Dre Greenlaw. All 3 of those guys are amongst the best at their position, and they're on the same team. And I'd like to point out what they did yesterday to nullify Tua in the passing game for a grand majority of the game. A lot of teams this year have been coming against Tua in the Dolphins and have been afraid of the yak, the yards after the catch. They've been afraid of Tyreek Hill catching it 5 yards from the line of scrimmage, turning the corner, running upfield, and scoring a touchdown. So what do to that? They bring the linebackers up. So as soon as he catches the ball, theoretically, you can get a hand on him, and maybe you don't make the tackle, but somebody else will. What have the Dolphins done in response to that? McDaniels is a really great offensive mind in this league. He recognized that they're taking away the yak, something that they talked about all off season long. Where have the Dolphins now gone to? About 15 to 25 yards down the field, in the middle of the field, where the linebackers are now vacating because they've come up more against the Dolphins. That little pocket of space in the middle of the field, the Dolphins have eaten in. The Dolphins have been able to drive downfield with 3 or 4 20-yard plays, and next thing you know, we're in the red zone. They've done that all year long. 49ers said, no, we'll let them catch it underneath. Back those linebackers up. Now Tua's trying to deliver the ball in that same area of space, but you're attacking him from a different angle, an angle he hasn't had to attack from all season long. So now he's oversailing balls. Now he's not as confident on the rest of his throws because he's trying to think about trying to attack the defense in a manner he hasn't done all year long. And oh, by the way, his offensive line stinks, so now Nick Bosa is on top of him every single play. And it doesn't get much better or much easier in the secondary. Hufanga has been one of the best safeties all year long. Ward gets an interception yesterday. So everywhere you look on that defense, there's playmakers. A bad offensive line against with the Dolphins allows the front line to eat. Game planning of the middle linebackers allows them to eat. And then in the back end to mop it all up, Hufanga and Jimmy Ward. Offense has playmakers. The defense has playmakers. And oh, by the way, just in case the offense now, because Brock Purdy's in the game, or maybe because Baker Mayfield eventually comes in, is in the game, maybe they struggle to put up touchdowns. You also have a kicker in Robbie Gould who goes 4 for 4, 3 for 3, field goal at the end of the game, putting him up by 2 scores, effectively ending the game for the Dolphins. Dolphins going to go turn it over twice, and 49ers put up more points. But he misses that field goal. The Dolphins then have an opportunity to go down the field down 6. If they score, get the extra point, win the game. Robbie Gould, experienced veteran, has been there. Has done it in the playoffs. And then again, shows up for the 49ers and helps them win the ball game. Everywhere you look on this 49ers team, there is talent. And if Brock Purdy can just keep a cool, calm, collected head and get the ball to the playmakers, this is a Super Bowl winning team. This is the best team in the NFL, to me, as things stand. Chiefs yesterday fall to the Bengals. You can't sit here and tell me that they don't miss Tyreek Hill. Any team would miss a guy who can, against the best team, against the best defense in the league. Anybody would miss a wide receiver who can get as open as he can. Anybody would miss a wide receiver that can go 9 catches, 146 yards, and a touchdown. Green Bay Packers, you can't tell me they don't miss Davante Adams. That one's obviously more obvious. 8 catches, 150 yards, 2 touchdowns. You take away the best wide receiver, maybe in the NFL, argument made for both those guys, leaving both those teams. Of course they're going to look different. Bengals take away Travis Kelce yesterday, and the Chiefs' offense did not look the same. The 49ers have the ability to do that to your best wide receiver. Didn't do that to Tyreek Hill, but stick with me. They can do that to your best wide receiver. They can nullify your running game. 33 yards from a bad run game by the Dolphins, albeit. But 33 yards? Took it away entirely. Entirely. Tua was rattled. He looked scared. He looked anxious. Now, as a Dolphins fan, if my quarterback's bad game is 300 yards, 2 touchdowns, 3 turnovers. I talked about those already over in the Dolphins review of the game against 49ers. So again, please go check out Miami Dolphins Syndicate for my thoughts on the Dolphins side of things. But what the 49ers did to Tua, what they did to this running game, what they did to everybody not named Tyreek Hill is what cements my thoughts as this is the best team in football, and this is a team I think will win the Super Bowl. I don't know how anybody stops them. You got to hope that Brock Purdy ends up being the Mr. Irrelevant that he was drafted as. There's a reason why he wasn't a top pick. If you can get him rattled, maybe. The only thing other than that that's going to bring them down is injuries. And you can't count on that. The 49ers are the best team in the NFL right now. And I got to say, they're my favorites to win the Super Bowl.